Okay, I'd like to talk about algebra. Now, this is our new unit, Unit 4. I I'll start off with something that a lot of my students tell me is a feeling a lot like this, that they decided that they didn't like maths the moment that there was the alphabet. Okay, I can see why you might feel that way, but it helps to understand what all of these different bits are and why they're important. So let's go through the language of algebra, the actual words that we use to describe what's going on. And with a good understanding of that, well, we should have a better understanding of what algebra is all about. So we'll start off with this example that I've written of an algebraic equation. And it's made up of different parts. You can see that we've got our normal operators. We've got an addition sign and a subtraction sign. We've actually got multiplication in there as well, but you don't see those really. So what is these bits where you've got numbers and letters? Well, they're referred to as a term. So each of these little distinct bits, these terms can be made up of numbers and letters. Now, the numbers are referred to as a coefficient. So the coefficient of this term that I'm looking at right here, this one, the coefficient is the number. The coefficient of this term is the number. It's the number 4. Here the coefficient is 5. Here the coefficient would be -3. Okay, so we've got the numbers sorted. So what about these letters? Well, the letters then are referred to as pronumerals. They are standing in the space that a numeral would be standing. Now, the reason why we use these letters then is that number that would normally be there, it's unknown. It's variable. It could be any number. It could be 1. It could be 1,000,000, or anything in between or beyond. We just don't know what that number is. So to represent the fact that we don't know what that number is, we'll use a pronumeral. Now, these other two parts over here, these first two, they are also just terms made up of coefficients and pronumerals. But this last term, it's a little bit different. There is no pronumeral. It is just the number. So this is referred to as a constant term, making sure that you can see that I've written it there. So this constant term is always going to be -2. No matter what we do with the rest of the equation, it will always be -2. It's constant. Okay, so now I've used that word equation a couple of times. Well, what exactly does that mean? Well, the equation is different than an expression. Here, look, this part on either side of our equal sign is an expression. We have an expression on the left-hand side. We have an expression on the right-hand side. And there's an equal sign in between. There's some equality between those two sides. But that's all together when you have an expression and an equal sign and another expression. Well, that is when we have what is known as an equation. The equation is the whole of it, both sides with the equal sign in between. Okay? So the language of algebra really is about coefficients and pronumerals, equations and expressions, those terms, and what we do with them. I've actually typed out a bunch of these like definitions. It's almost like a glossary of information that you can pause the video and you can make a note of or come back to it when you need to.